So call to order the HVAC IAQ Building Committee meeting for October 10th, 2025. And for the Pledge of Allegiance, good work. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cold enough for everybody this morning? Side yet? We get that fire up the furnaces.
Yeah.
Too early.
I was thinking the same
Yeah, it
thing.
is October, though. I mean, mid-October. That's not bad, actually. We've been lucky.
Yeah.
We often
Yeah.
get it tomorrow, but we get all the HVAC teams will get to go out on their maintenance calls this morning.
Right.
All right. Make a motion to approve the August 29th, 2025 minutes as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to approve the September 12th, 2025 minutes as submitted.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on. Osborne Hill updates.
Sure.
As of today, the vestibule is fully installed with ArmorTex and operational with the controls with the AST security team. We do have, some punch items that we're finishing up. We have some brake metal we have to do. Caulking. I know you and I have looked at it, Jeff, in person, so that's all in motion. We're waiting, waiting on metal to be made and fabricated and all that type of stuff, but it's moving. As far as the HVAC side, that we're at the final stages of integration for FPS, which would be, our team's turnover to the schools. We're also commissioning started at Osborne Hill on Monday this week, so that's been ongoing. So balancing and testing has been complete. Commissioning has taken over. And we're still working through any kind of questions and troubleshooting as it comes up with new systems, which tends to happen. But we're working through that with Osborne. So that's pretty much where we are with Osborne. North Stratfield is in a similar place. So again, full vestibule is in. Security wise, everything is working as expected with key cards and ADA push buttons and all that type of stuff. Still in the same thing, punch list items for that vestibule, brake metals and caulking that had to be field measured once it was installed. And the same thing with North Stratfield's HVAC. So there we have had all of the balancing and testing completed. We do have some trouble with RTU1, which is over the vestibule. We have brought Train out to look into it, and also we're doing some additional testing. We're just not getting the exact readings we need into the building, which that RTU specifically powers the APR, which is the lunchroom. So we're looking into that right now. It's been an ongoing thing over the past week or so, week and a half, where we have Train and Ferguson. Everybody on the team, kind of all hands on that. So we'll give you guys an update as we get an update. Right now, we just got static. We're getting static readings, and they're going to be reviewed by the team. So, but other than that, we will be commissioning North Stratfield as soon as Osborne is complete. So they'll migrate over to North Stratfield, and then Woods. We're in another similar fashion too. We finished the vestibule last Saturday. Everything was up and running this week. We've tested everything out. Again, no issues there. Same thing though, just some minor punch list things now that the system is in place. And as far as balancing and testing, to my understanding at the moment is still ongoing at Woods, just because there's so many systems. And commissioning will then take place again after North Stratfield. So we're kind of waterfalling the commissioning sequence. But other than that, we are having some issues with Train. I'll be very transparent. We're having some issues with their system, their RTUs and DOAS units not running the way everyone's expecting it to. So we have engaged them to come out and make sure there's no issues with the actual units or anything that they have to do on their end. So that's constantly ongoing right now with Ferguson and then the ABS and then the testing agency wings.
Just to throw it. Go
Is
ahead.
Train being cooperative?
Yes, it's just, Train's typical fashion is, you'd like them to get out there tomorrow, right? Because it's kind of important, and they put you on a schedule for next week because, they're trained and they have other work and this and that. So the hardest thing, yes, they're cooperating, Rodney, but, we obviously would love to get them out here a little bit sooner than this, but that's kind of where we've been struggling with them, is just their availability and get them out here ASAP.
But Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, all units are running.
Yes,
Except
yes.
we're trying to hang on a second, let me finish. So the only issue is that we're trying to get them to perform to the documents specifically. So there's a little
Yes.
bit either of a CFM shortage, but they are running. Train has a little bit of a management issues, is that the technicians that come out to start the units are not capable of making modifications to the units. They have to rely on their technical people for their back in the, call it the factory. And that's been the really disconnect and the challenge with Train. So we can get the technician, but he doesn't have the technical knowledge to be able to modify the unit to perform to design. And if it's obviously shortfall of design because of design issues, that becomes a Jesse and a BL issue. So, but the units, all the units are on, they're performing, but we're trying to get them to perform to the spec.
Yeah.
Couple of units, that is. That's really where we are.
The majority right now have been identified as issues from Train. I missed
Right.
a couple of minutes here, but that's from the balancing, and talk to the
Right.
balancing guys out on the site. And the
Right.
majority of them seem to have issues that need to be resolved from Train.
Right. And
Yeah.
if Train doesn't come, if they don't come in line, we call Jesse because he's got bigger leverage on them because he's the one that specifies them. So we just use that hammer if they don't come in, if they don't come to a meeting or address the issues in a timely fashion. So it's not unusual with Train, unfortunately, that kind of behavior.
Yeah, and I mean, right, we've been having communication with Train via Ferguson. So again, we have salespeople that respond, we have technicians that come out, but really, like Amar said, it's the engineering side that is hard to get a hold of because they're basically back of house. So at this point, it's like engineering side, for the inner workings of the system, and why are we not getting the correct CFM, in certain areas where we should be. So, and fan speeds and all that type of stuff that has been reviewed and understood by the wings balancing team. So we'll continue to give you guys updates, obviously, as this unfolds. But as Amar said, yeah, everything is up and running. It's just we're not hitting the design criteria in some of them.
What's Tim? Sorry to ask this here. Is the BMS up and operating everywhere? Because I noticed when we did our punch list, every circuit breaker for ABS was turned off.
It is operational, but we had requested FPS to kind of do a system check of their existing systems because there were some concerns at both, especially North Stratfield and Osborne, about existing systems that we were getting complaints for air issues with temperature, but they were systems that we did not touch for the building. So we
Yep.
that all just took place this week. So yes, everything
Okay.
should be fully integrated within the next few days or into next week.
Okay, yeah, I know I saw them when I was out at the building, one of the schools this week. I know I saw them out there working, so I know that's
Yeah,
all.
they've
all
been,
ongoing,
yeah, they
finish
have
up.
everything pretty much programmed. It's just the integration now into the existing system. But ABS was concerned that they might mess up a program, or if there's already an issue, they wanted to verify everything checked out. So that was taking place this week with FPS and their service side. So my understanding is everything looks to be cleared out and okay, especially at Osborne. So now ABS will continue to just finalize that full control into the FPS side of it.
Okay, good. Sounds good. Thanks for the update on that piece.
One last question, Tim. Roof at North Stratfield, status?
Yes. Yeah. So roof, actually,
You say roof,
I
you're
need to
talking
follow-
about roof leaks or roof trimming?
Just
No,
completion.
roof completion at North Stratfield. So we're dragging young developers across the finish line. They have some brake metal and some welding they're still working on. The goal is to have them fully wrapped up by the end of next week. I've put more pressure on them this week with a couple, delay notices because our substantial completion was, of course, 8/20. And we're now approaching middle of October. So I just need to check. I don't actually know if SPA made it out to site yesterday. I just need to verify that to start the punch list items as we discussed earlier in the week. But I know that right now we're down to some brake metal or finishing the brake metal and final welds and some of the seams that they've been going back over. We did have, with the rains we had the other day, we had, I think, maybe one leak at North Stratfield that was addressed. So that was good. Just being that in the entire building we had one leak. So that was addressed, I believe it was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. So
I do want to call out your low bar of acceptance with a project that only one leak is acceptable. That would,
yeah.
Well,
okay.
it's going to get tested this weekend again.
It's going to get tested quite a bit this weekend. Yes.
The roofing manufacturer has been out there and has
Yes.
done the preliminary warranty punch as well.
Yes,
So-
the roofing manufacturers out there and gave young developers kind of their punch list, and a lot of it was consistent items they just had to go back through and address, and they've been working on that as well.
Is it a material issue, a installation issue? We've been fighting leaks for months now. Is it this?
I mean,
What was the root cause?
I think it's installation issues. The material is a normal, it's a good manufacturer. But it's the welding. They're not getting good welds when they're doing it, or they don't have the most competent people doing welds. I know that's been our biggest struggle with these guys. The whole project is proper manpower, and when we get manpower, are we getting qualified manpower? So, yeah. And that's been our biggest struggle. So, right now, I think that's what we saw. They put a lot of work in place, but they didn't have the right guys doing the right finish work, which is what seals the roof, right? They lay it down, everything's laid down on top of each other with seams. And if those seams are not welded properly, they leak. So, that's where we saw kind of the issue with them. So again, they've been addressing it. We had a couple of weeks ago, we had one of those rain events. We had about 15 leaks in that building, and it was quite an issue. But we've since put them on notice and pushed them harder. And like I said, in the rain incident we had earlier this week, we only had one. So, the bar is not great, Jeff, but we're pretty much watertight at this point. So, this weekend will be the test.
I look forward to the meeting where we heard there's no leaks at any of the schools. It'd be a good meeting.
I'm hoping I'm hoping I can send you an email on Monday or Tuesday and tell you we're golden.
There we go. Be a great email. All right. As far as conditioning and acceptance and whatnot, Rodney, do you have a desire or interest of doing final walkthroughs?
Honestly, I don't have the time to do it.
Fair enough. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I wanted to make sure you have opportunity. I didn't want you to get to a point where you're like, I really wish I could have walked to schools.
Yeah, no, I wish I could, but I just not gonna be able to get out there.
Understood. Okay. I'll connect with Joe and see what his interest level is or availability is as well, I guess. Okay. Any other updates, Tim, on the schools? We sort of hit Osborne and we went off a little bit on some tendrils, but do you want to?
No, that's pretty much all.
I know
On phase one. On phase
Right,
one.
we haven't gotten to Tomlinson yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
we haven't
Fitz
gone.
House, who's got the ball on Fitz House as far as with this cooler weather we can get the heat back on? That was the whole another
That's
train interface issue.
Correct. Different train rep, but yeah. Basically October 15th boilers have to be on, so we'll have the heat. We probably we'll have morning heat, call it middle of the day we're in the shoulder season where heat will be called for in the morning, but not really through the rest of the day. So I would say by November 1, we should be probably heat on full time during the day. So that'll be a good test of it. So we've got to turn the heat on and see if the train fixes from May or June are the correct ones.
So your position would be that that can't be tested or signed off on until we have full heat needed for the entire day?
It needs to run.
But is the morning heat?
Morning should be good because it calls for heat, calls for steam.
To at least
And-
identify if there's issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, I agree with you. Maybe sign offs not until we have a full day of run, but it would seem that we never
It'll be a
dove
good-
into the extent of the problems or the details of it. So it's not. I don't want to
It'll-
talk out of
it'll-
my left
It'll be a
side.
good indicator. No, if it's during the season where with the morning heat, it'll be a positive indicator.
So
But I
back to the
wouldn't, yeah,
original question.
I
So
wouldn't,
who-
I wouldn't
who's-
accept it. I wouldn't accept it till,
Fair enough for closure and signature off,
Correct.
signing off on it. But so who has the ball in that, Mark? Who's
That-
checking
that-
the heat?
well,
or-
that'd be FPS and Van Zelm. FPS would be, starting up the units, starting up the heat, calling for the heat. And that's Van Zelm signing off that it is, they are the engineer of record on that. So
And are they
that would be,
planning on being at the school this week? And how's that occurring?
they're on call. I mean, Rob's the one that's been with the project throughout, and he's actually the commission agent on phase 1. So he is in Fairfield.
And then who would call him? You see he's on call, but who would trigger that call?
Either myself or Sal, and in this case, Angelus or Steve Giglio right now, with Sal on vacation.
So the trigger at this point, the silent vacation, is that somebody from Fitz calls you guys to say, I don't have heat.
Correct.
Okay. It seems passive. It sounds like it's gonna be delayed significantly with that kind of trigger.
Let me talk to Van Zelm, see if they can get out there and if there's anything they can do preemptively.
When is Sal back? Monday?
I think he's Monday.
I don't know, I'm asking.
I think he's over in Italy, so hopefully it's at least 10 days over there. And he went, I think he's been gone all week, so probably middle of next week.
Sometime next week, okay. I would have just expected him to be over there, okay. All right, Tomlinson?
Yes. So on my side of the update, we are still tracking to mobilize into the school next week. We're actually might be bringing some stuff over today. So we plan to get our field office set up there in the room that the school has been very graciously provided us. So we have that room. We are planning to start demolition the week of 10/20, which will be in Science Room 216, and that'll kind of kick off the auxiliary gym portion of the work, which will be, once we uncover that, we'll do field measuring, et cetera, and get into shop drawings and all that. So still on the revised schedule that we came up with. So yeah, we're moving forward into that, and we're going to just hit the ground running from there.
Did we get a revised schedule? I haven't seen one.
No, we can, I can get you over
Presley,
one.
Democrat from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Yeah, I can get you over one, Rodney. Give me, maybe I can get you one next week. I'll meet with my
Okay.
scheduler to just tweak some dates.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mark,
So
you
we're
do you
on
have-
all the schedules. What? Sorry?
okay,
You
what
have
you're saying.
the logistics plan schedule?
Yes, that's what I can give out to everybody. Yeah, I'll send that out revised with some dates.
Okay.
It's the easiest way to understand how we're going to phase the work. Or regular Gantt chart schedule. It's not going to be. It'll be a little different to read. Yeah, I'll send it out to the team so you guys can take a look at that. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me.
Okay. That was one of my issues. Okay, good. Anything else in Tomlinson?
No, I mean, I met with Anthony last week. Mark and I walked him, just kind of rewalked some of the initial scope we're going to do. Met with the teachers that we're going to be getting into their room. They're all kind of excited and understand what we're going to do. So no questions there. And he was very appreciative of us kind of coming out in person to walk with him. So glad we can continue to do that for them.
Just to add on to that, we had a kickoff meeting with the school on the 22nd of September. And just got the ball rolling on that one. Gil Bain's been doing kickoffs with the subcontractors. We have the subcontractors schedule values that they've submitted for review. So it's starting to roll.
We've got the builder's insurance in place.
That is not yet. Still waiting for comments, the review of the comments from the town.
Okay, is Adam aware of the
Yes.
timeline?
Yeah, I spoke with Adam on Wednesday.
Okay. So this demo starting in 10/20 would imply we need to have the policy all in place and executed by
Correct.
the 17th, which is okay.
Yep. And then the only other two items I have on Tomlinson is I put in the RFPs for phase one for the commissioning agent and the materials testing. We'll need to get them on board for Tomlinson. Materials testing scope is very limited compared to phase one. And basically what we're gonna, the commission agent, their RFP was written that included phases 2 through 5. The materials testing was off the state contract, so that can be extended through that. We just want to know in the approvals. We just want to know if we want to continue with that, or do we need to? Does the committee want to go out to another RFP?
Okay, so we have that as that it's done in the approval section.
Yep. Correct.
Okay. I have a bunch of old business, but I guess I'll hold it till that. Okay. We'll keep to the agenda here. So pressing on with the review of the contingency log.
Osborne Hill, we have 3 new items that have gotten added, all associated with RFIs. The first one, line 82, is the modifications to door opening 160. 158 and I believe 175 is the existing an existing condition. It's a unit ventilator in room 11 that had no control valve on it, and it was to put it back into use. It needs a control valve and be wired to the BMS. This would provide the heat to room 11. Temperature control valve RFI 158. Tim, do you want to explain that one?
Sorry, Mark, which one?
Yeah, 158, the temperature control valve location, RFI 158.
Hang on, let me just bring that up really quick.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm just bringing that RFI up. Sorry.
Tim, that's for adding the temperature control valve at Osborne. Special education.
Yes. Yeah, it was in the corridor 112 and 1 through 7. Yeah, so that one, there was an existing what should have been a control valve there, but there was a copper pipe that was missing. So we had just RFI'd if this was supposed to remain disconnected or if it's supposed to be brought into the new system. So the answer was to bring it into the system and put a valve there. So we had to add that that control valve and the labor there to get that hooked in and reconnected.
So I suspect this is an issue that was found quite a while ago and just hasn't been brought up for RFI until the punch list. Is that sort of inaccurate? I see it even dated July.
Yeah, this was an older item that was out there. We were chasing in pricing and mainly just chasing in pricing with Ferguson.
Okay. So Mark, these are on your new adds to your contingency. So just to recap, do you expect these to possibly show up as future ATP requests?
Correct. The line 85 is Gilbane doesn't have it on their log yet. The top two, they do have it on their logs as far as out of scope. And RFI 17, the unit ventilator in room 11 is an item that was discussed during the OAC meetings, and that is why I put it on there, as just to encumber some money for it.
And opening 160 is what? I don't have my floor plan of Osborne Hill memorized to the door opening numbers. Anybody, I mean, what is the modification to the door opening that's necessary? Anybody?
Yeah,
Nicolina, if you know the details, jump in
yeah.
since you processed that.
This is North Strathfield. Just want to make
No,
sure.
this is Osborne.
No, Osborne Hill's
That's
the APR
160
door.
is the NPR door.
This is the threshold.
This is where was supposed to be a threshold because of the different elevations. Now we are extending the VCT flooring from the lobby into the NPR because the NPR is a wood floor.
Okay.
So it's more dealing with existing conditions, Nicolina, is that what it is?
Correct.
Based on the existing condition and trying to blend the finishes
Yes.
at that openings, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no detail once we open the opening bigger, so we have the space between.
Okay, so this is the expansion of that doorway into the APR.
Yeah.
Lobby,
Yes.
a floor associated to it.
So these items have been completed?
Yes. These are all
Well-
stuff that we found
Yeah.
this summer and come across it. We have to get them done, obviously, for school opening. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim and Nicolina.
Well, yeah, the existing unit ventilator room 11 that has not been done yet. That we just got the RFI back about a week and a half ago. The temperature control valve, yes, that's done. And the door opening, the opening's been made. The floor has been like kind of finished past Rodney with like a very smooth surface, but we have to get the floor back. We have to put the VCT and stuff back in and the threshold. So we had waited for this to get the answer for how we were going to integrate the two old floorings.
Okay, and explain.
Just to
I
add,
missed it,
sorry,
but
Rodney.
the unit vent in room 11.
So
I think
that-
Jesse probably can explain that one best. Jesse can explain that one best, I believe. If he's still there.
Sorry
Yes.
about that. Which one's that, Amar, that we're on?
Room
Unit
one.
ventilator
RFI
room,
175. Unit
Yeah,
vent
that was an
room 11.
interesting unit. It sure looked like a unit that had no heating involved with it and no piping. We didn't see anything when we looked, the multiple times we were at the school before the project and designing it, we never saw the hot water that goes to that unit. And I believe there was hot water, so it was just making sure that was all connected up and tied into everything. I think that was that issue. Sorry, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Pretty sure that was it.
Well, yeah, I mean, from our standpoint, it was shown in the drawings to be deleted, to be demoed out. When we reviewed the room, there was discovered there was no heating element in the room. So we brought it up to the attention that do we actually want to remove that? Because then there won't be heating in that room. So by leaving it, we can just put a new valve on it and run it into the new BMS system. So it'll be recycled and reused with the project. So it, that's basically what happened. It was called to be demolished. We raised the concern about having no other heat system in that specific classroom. It was correct. That would be the only heating source. So now we're just making it work with the new system.
Yeah, it's almost,
So
it
Rodney,
looked like a
there'll
cooling
be
only unit.
credits associated with this too. It's not pure ad because we own the demo of the unit and cleaning up the area. So now we're saving the unit and just tying it to the BMS. So hopefully the cost will be reasonably minimal, if any.
And
So,
we're working on seeing, we would have owned, Rodney,
Yeah.
the patching of the wall where where that unit would come out, some of the flooring. So we're going to try to get some credits and offset some of the additional cost. We're working on that right now. So we reached out to the applicable trades.
All right. Mark, you have these broken up by school, so you're gonna go to the next school.
North Stratfield, we have two submitting that two that are being submitted today. One of them and we have three new ones. One of them we've been talking about for a bit. The door at the electrical room, we do have an estimated cost on that. The change in the door hardware at the main office. And then this back charge is just to get it on my list to make sure that we don't lose sight of it. This is the back charge is a zero cost to the project. The change in door hardware, we want the ultimate door hardware to be a classroom function. It is a pass-through function on the door hardware. So this is a change to make this lockable into the main office from the corridor.
Part of the hardening of that main office area in North Stratfield.
Correct.
Okay. Scroll over to the right just a smidge, just to see the dollar amounts, just about 10, about 5, and still to be determined. Well, that's just a note. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's the zero is a back charge. That should be no cost. It's just easier to track back charges here to make sure that
Okay.
it gets taken care of.
Okay. And then moving on to Woods.
Well, I included North Stratfield roof. We have two that we're reviewing today, but essentially these were all approved on the HVAC project, and they're just being brought over to the roof. So these are for the existing equipment feeders. This is a zero. This was an estimated one that was approved on the HVAC project, and it's a $0 change. And then the true up of the raising of the kitchen exhaust, and this is also the true up, and this is a savings of $30,000, almost $31,000.
Okay.
And then there were no added ones for Woods, and I moved the existing fire alarm to deferred on my log.
Right. Yeah. So we're deferring all the asks of the fire alarms to all the schools off the project, as we discussed. Okay. All right, jumping back.
Mark, you didn't get the warranty extension cost on the Thomason that we did not send you that ATP?
No, I did not get that in
Okay.
time.
Okay. We could talk through it if you guys like to, Jeff and Rodney.
Yeah, let's get through what's on the sheet and then we can circle
Yeah,
back.
bring that up
Okay.
I'll add it to the old business.
Sounds good.
Okay. ATPs. One.
ATPs, we have 6 of them. The first one's an allowance give back in the amount of $64,763. And this is for the temporary power cutover allowance.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept ATP 009 temporary power cut over from existing building. The source is the allowance in the amount of, it's a give back of $64,763.00.
Second the motion. Any discussion?
No,
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next one is for Woods is ATP 43. This was a CM contingency item. It was estimated, and this is just additional $1,802 that above the estimate, that came in above the estimated amount. So this will be coming out of the CM contingency.
do we have to accept this since it's coming out of the CM contingency?
Is that just because we have a $5,000
Yeah.
expenditure without, is this above the 5,000 mark? Is that what why this is $1,800? Or is this?
I put it on because the whole ATP was above the 5,000. So this can be an
Alright.
FYI.
Yeah, that's more like an FYI,
Yeah, I think so.
Rodney.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I mean, it wanted
that's
moving
all right.
on. North
Yep.
Stratfield ATP 43. This is an FYI of final cost of $9,491. And this is a savings of $4,263. And that's an RFI, FYI, so that it doesn't need to be acted on. The next one for North Stratfield is ATP 46, which was the electrical room brick removal with the PCBs and the additional masonry. This is estimated, and this will be coming out of the hazmat allowance, or hazmat contingency. And the amount is $10,054.
Was there more brick than expected to be removed?
This is the one that came back that was,
No, I know where it is, but there was just one brick around the entire one brick
Correct.
width.
well, this includes the removal and the putback. And if I did not,
I think your question is the scope, did the scope increase around the quantity or the amount of bricks that have to be removed?
Exactly.
Its estimate, or is it still just the one
It's-
score, 2 score, whatever it was?
it is just basically the one brick width.
Okay.
Has this been completed?
The hazmat removal the brickwork has not been done.
When is that going to get done?
Tim, when are we patching this opening?
Should be this week or about Saturday. I gotta just check with Dale. He was trying to confirm the mason. Let me try to get a hold of him right now.
Yeah, we got to get this thing done. We can't leave it like that.
No. Where's this located? Is it in the basement or?
No, it's out in the back,
So it's
by the
accessible
dumpster location.
It's accessible to students and teachers?
Yeah.
That's unacceptable, gentlemen. That's,
No, I totally agree.
Please get a piece of plywood cut around there or something.
yeah.
We got to get this thing done, Tim.
Yeah,
I mean,
let me look into it.
it's just, first of all, it doesn't look good, and then second, it's a hazard for children. If they have access to it. If they didn't have access to it, then that's a different story. In any event, ATP 046 electrical brick removals. The source is from the hazmat contingency. This is an estimate of $10,054. I make a motion to accept that.
Second the motion. Any further discussion?
No, just get back to us
the-
with a timeline, please.
Yeah, I put that in the old business list. There's another, we just reviewed an ATP for North Stratfield, I believe is what this is for the removal of, or is this the entire work, Mark?
This is the entire work.
Okay,
The hazmat work and the putback.
so this is the removal and put back?
Yes,
And hazmat cleanup, okay.
correct.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes.
And then North Stratfield roof, these are two ATPs that you have seen before. Essentially, they're FYIs. They were previously approved on the HVAC project, but they are being transferred to the roof because they were the roof ATPs. The first one is 03, and there's a savings of close to $31,000 on that. And 04 is for the existing equipment feeders, and there is, well, no, zero savings. There's a dollar savings on it with how the percentages worked out, but I called it a zero.
Okay. Speaking of budget, Mark, we're due for a budget-
FSR? Yep.
Okay, so that's the ATP list.
Yes.
Moving on to invoices.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept Gilbane's invoices 18, 18, 13, and 18, dated 9/30/2025, in the total amount of $1,073,614.92.
Second the motion. Any discussion on the Gilbane invoices?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Get Rodney.
Similarly, I will make a motion to accept BL Company's invoices. I'm not going to read all those numbers. Dated
29 and 10.
All right, 20.29 and 0.10. Dated 9/30/2025, in the total amount of $11,920.
Second the motion. Any discussions on BL Company's invoices?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to accept Collier's invoice 1100530, dated 9/30/2025, in the amount of $10,457.60.
Second the motion. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes, moving on.
Like how you guys are all in collusion there at 9:30. Anyway. American Total Protection invoice, make a motion to accept American Total Protection invoice 462181, dated 9/5/2005, in the amount of $11,300. $336.80.
Second the motion. Any discussion?
Just what is this?
This is for the PA system at Osborne Hill. This was prior to getting the work done. We did discuss this. This is moving the floor-mounted PA system to a counter-mounted PA system. So this is the work at Osborne Hill for the PA system.
This was an ATP at some point.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have, Jeff.
You're gonna have me tag in on Tri-State?
I'm sorry?
You want me to, sorry, all right, all in favor of American Total Protections? Aye,
Aye, sorry.
all right,
Um,
moving on to Tri-State.
yeah, I'll make a motion to accept Tri-State Materials Testing invoices dated 9/24/2025 in the amount of $3,182.
Second the motion, any discussion on Tri-State?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to Van Zelm.
Make a motion to accept Van Zelm's invoice 53896 dated 9/11/2025 in the amount of $4,831.16.
Second the motion, any discussion on Van Zelm?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And last and least,
I'll make a motion to accept National Business Furniture invoice dated 9/17/2025 in the amount of $1,861.44.
second the motion, any discussion on National Business Furniture?
What is this?
This is at Osborne Hill. There was an existing secretary's admin's desk and filing cabinet that in the reconfiguration of the office it was an old and outdated desk and lateral file, and this is the replacement of that.
We'd actually approved that through an ATP of the
I remember that.
reconfiguration of the offices, I believe. Any other discussion?
That's all I have. Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Next agenda item is for Tomlinson, and if we want to solicit the commissioning agent, we do have a proposal from the commissioning agent that they would need to update to today's dollars. And we do have a proposal for Tri-State for the materials testing services that I would ask if to update to the current. Actually, they're still under the state contract, so they don't even need to update it for that. But this is more for if we want to continue with Van Zelm and Tri-State for Tomlinson Phase 2.
My question is, are we happy with Van Zelm and Tri-State? Have they performed well?
Yes.
Tim?
Yeah, we haven't had
Yeah, no,
issues
it's-
with Tri-State. They've been when we've needed them to come out to site, they get out to site. I mean, Van Zelm, we're just starting to work with, so they've been working in the background for a little while, having miscellaneous meetings, but they're now on site as of Monday. So
And they've done periodic reviews through construction as well.
yeah,
As the units were going in.
And their original, the numbers that we're getting were part of the original package.
For the commissioning, yes. They were, when we solicited the bid in 24, 23. We asked for phase 2 through 5 numbers, based on $23. So they'll need to escalate to the schedule now, but yes, we have
Van Zelm on the invoice package still has $103,000 remaining. Is that what we're talking about?
no,
No?
no, that 103 is for, I'm pulling it up now so you can,
Is that for the remainder of phase
Phase
one?
one.
correct. Remainder of commissioning at the 3 schools.
I don't have any feeling one way or the other, Jeff. I mean, I don't know.
No, nor I guess we could really split hairs and look at the quotes to see if they were the low bidder for that particular phase versus their entire package, which would have been accepted at the time. But from a cost perspective, they must be a low bidder or very much in line with the bidding process. And no one has any concerns or rubs with either vendor. So from a continuity perspective, it seems to make the most sense for Tim, Mark, do you recall the numbers for either one of them? For Tomlinson?
We'll take the easy one first. Tri-State was all unit rates, and that was applied based on site visits that we came up with, is how we came up with the dollar amounts for Tri-State or the testing agency. Commissioning, I do have the numbers. In all honesty, I did not look at them because without approval to solicit, I do not have
Standing to look at them.
I would only have Van Zelm's. I don't have the other numbers, like the other commission agents that submitted.
Okay.
But I know commissioning wise, we've used Van Zelm in the past on Mill Hill. We've also, and they've done the retro commissioning in the school district as well.
Okay.
They are a trusted commission agent to the town.
So I'll make a motion to accept Van Zelm and Tri-State as the commissioning agents and material testing services providers for phase 2 Tomlinson project.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, are we approving them, or are we approving them to get costing?
Just to go out to get costing. I'll get final numbers and bring them back to the committee.
Okay, Jeff, can you amend your?
Modify the motion. So pending the motion to clarify that the motion is for the solicitation of cost for both vendors and to not at this time go out to market for additional quotes.
Second.
Any further discussion?
None.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's see, old business. I apologize, I did not group these by school, so I might jump around a bit. All of the missing pieces of glass for the vestibules have all been found and installed, correct?
Not installed, but found. Cherry Hill has them in hand, so we got to schedule them to get them back out there. They were received this week.
So when we talk about, so are we still on target? Tim, did you give us a timeline on the trim work in the vestibules? You sort of stated that was the last piece, but we still.
Yeah,
have
that's with
last-
Cherry Hill as well. They were out earlier this week to do field measuring. After we got the final vestibule in on Saturday, so they were out to do field measuring at the 3 schools for like all these little trim brake metal pieces. So I will get an update from them we don't have anything as of yet. So I imagine they need probably a couple weeks to get everything measured or get the measurements in, fabricated, and out to site. So I'll check in with Scott from Cherry Hill though.
Okay. I think it's a safe statement to think that by the next time we meet, which is the 24th, that this should all, I would suspect Cherry Hill should be wrapped up if all the pieces have been found.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay. Principal punch lists at the schools.
So those have been, we've pretty much completed, 98% of the items there. I sent an update out to the principals earlier this week, or to Sal and Angelus and everybody earlier this week. With Sal being away, we haven't really received any feedback yet. But pretty much all of the Gilbane items that we designated our court have been taken care of. We're also right now actually looking into some of the FPS items to see if there's anything we can lend a hand on while we have manpower on site. So I had my team kind of comb through the list over the past couple of days and see if we can task some of the manpower at night to go through and help with that. So as of right now, it's with FPS. I'm waiting to get the confirmation that everything that was on the list has been taken care of and is approved by the school. And once we get that green light, we'll be done, or we'll have to correct something if it's still not to their liking.
Back to site visits again. I apologize for the notes here. They're just sort of random, but the stairs. Mark and I had a quick conversation on this. The stairs to the scaffolding and stairs going to the roofs for the 3 buildings, are those still in place at the buildings?
They are, and we're tentatively planning to take them down by the end of this month. So that's kind of our timeline that we've been working with internally.
All right. I offered Rodney, I wanted to offer Joe, if there's a walkthrough, it's a lot easier to go up those than have to do ladder work, right? So I'd like to get any site visits done prior to the stairs being removed. So Tim, just keep me in the loop. I'll push that today. I'll send Joe a note after this meeting.
Yeah, I mean, based on where we are with the finalizing of the roof work, I don't expect them to come down until about Halloween. So I'd say the remainder of the month. Jeff, if you want to visit, we'll probably definitely have them in place.
Of course, we'll be happy because there'll be no roof leaks either to have to go up there for. So another reason to remove them. Okay. The bridge work on the roof. All of the costs are still pending on that, I believe.
The platforms, the stairs and the platforms are to provide roof access for servicing.
And that's waiting for designs. So who's got the ball on that one right now?
Mark,
That was going, yeah, go ahead. That just got field measured. Miguelina, go ahead.
Correct.
Cut you off.
We just finalized another 2 locations 2 days ago. And according to the manufacturer, we will be getting pricing early next week. So once that roll around, we still need to make sure the right amount of locations and the right amount of clearance before we pass the cost on an ATP. So I anticipate for the next building committee meeting to have an actual part number as a fixed cost for us to review.
All right. And then Jesse, I assume you have a sort of a master list of all of the places that were needed flagged in those walkthroughs.
Yeah, those were all identified when we all walked the roofs, Sal and I and the Gilbane team. And Sal really just, he looked at what was installed on the roof and said, look, my guys probably aren't going to service the equipment unless we put these things in here, and like that.
Right. Okay. Just want to make sure we're all working on the same list. That's all. So we don't get to a disconnect at the end. Training on the VMS system. This is probably more of a Sal question. I know that there was more done. I just don't know if I haven't heard from him
Magdalena,
directly if he's comfortable with that. That was an issue he had brought up.
So regarding trainings, we have our first scheduled training for the 21st. It's gonna be about 7 to 8 hours. We sent out the agenda earlier this week. I'm still waiting for comments or any questions and confirmation that we can still have it on the 21st. I know Sal was spearheading this process. I also copied Papa George on the email. Perhaps he can agree on the 21st. So it's tentatively a placeholder for the 21st, but I need confirmation based on the agenda that it's okay for the 21st. Jesse, have you reviewed the agenda yet? Are you okay with it?
Oh, yes, I did review that, Miguelina, and yeah, that was the train one, right? Or was it a different one?
Perfect. So at this point, I'm waiting just on Sal or Papa George to confirm who from the school district will be in attendance, and hopefully we can take it from there. And the 21st works for them.
I'll reach out to Angelus and or Steve for confirmation.
Old business as-built. There was discussion about as-built being completed. Has that been finished? I'm taking silence as no.
That's part of our closeout. So we're working on getting that in now where applicable. So we'll have, site work as built, right, for all the new service conduits we laid in. There'll be as built from Ferguson for certain duct work. And trying to think who else we might have. I think also Blackwater was pretty much in place. Yeah, we'll have some as built. So yes, those are underway, Jeff, as part of the closeout process now.
And the attic stock turnover, I don't know if there's any transfer.
Also, yes, also part of the closeout process. Yep. So we're tracking in all attic stock and making sure that the subs do deliver it to us.
And in turn, you'll turn it over to FPS and
Yes.
get this,
Yep.
and
We'll do.
get the transmittal signed and.
Yep. Yep. So we have record of everything being stored and provided.
Yeah, I just want to add that the first delivery of material is scheduled right now for the 17th.
Okay. This one's also probably a Sal one. North Stratfield static in the intercom system.
That was rectified. We had our trade go back out and resplice a few wires. And my understanding is that it's been fine ever since.
Okay.
We haven't received any new complaints from Luis over at North Stratfield.
Okay. Intercom at Osborne Hill, all set?
Intercom at Osborne Hill.
That's a little.
There's no current open issues that I'm aware of. So I think that was all addressed when they rehung the Bogan system in the office.
Okay. And we just have, and as far as roof leaks, we just have the one known issue at North Stratfield?
We had one at Osborne Hill, but that was taken care of as well. It was one leak in a spot with a duct stand that had not been flashed yet. So that was since taken care of.
Okay.
Jesse, real quick on this call, just the MEP punch list. Where are we with that? I know you've walked all 3 schools at this point.
Yeah, it's probably about 75% done. And I had been hoping to get it out this week, but it'll be, should be completed shortly. Yeah, I know those need to get to you with ASAP. So, like I said, get them out as soon as I possibly can.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesse, I need to put pressure on these guys. We're in October. I don't want to lose them. So get it. If it's the end of this week, it means today. Do you think we'll get it Monday?
That's my hope. Yes.
Please. Okay.
Yep. No, Amar, I understand the urgency and how everything works here. So,
Okay.
All right, I have no additional business. Rodney, anything from you? Hearing none. New business, I have no new business. See, the only question I had on Tomlinson is, I guess, just point of clarification, is there a process to review open work orders with the school as far as known issues on the roof, for example, or known issues that make sure that we've either incorporated into our project or have consciously excluded from the scope of the project? I don't know if work orders is the right term. I'm not sure what Fairfield School calls them, but does that my question make sense? Mars face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand where you going with the conversation
Well,
specifically.
I'm just trying. I'm wondering if there's a sort of a connection up front between known issues that the principal may have or the BOE has that
Oh, I see.
that are called out now before the project begins. Oh
Yes.
yeah, like, oh yeah, there's always been a leak in that corner of the roof,
Yeah.
or
And
this
typically,
has always
yeah,
been a problem. And instead of
I agree.
2 months from now, it coming up as an ATP in the principal's wish list, and then there's a
Right.
debate, right? And we could have done it sooner, faster, cheaper, or whatever.
Right. So what I've asked Mark and Tim to do what we call precondition survey. Go out there, take videos of the spaces we're going to work on. If there's any floor damage, if there's any things that are not working, obviously the HVAC system we're replacing, so that's fairly straightforward. But you're right. Hopefully there's no roof leaks because that's a brand new roof. But if there's any damage to finishes, we want to capture them now. It's okay whether we fix them or the town or the Fairfield Public School fixes them later on. We can discuss that later. But again, I agree with you. Yes, and I'm going to lean on Tim. Tim, have you already did the survey that we've talked about?
No, we're going to be out there that next week doing all that tomorrow. So we're going to be surveying the flooring and the gyms and all that stuff to make sure there's nothing, no cracks where we'll be working. So yeah, we'll be putting that together to answer your question, Jeff.
And as far as like I know we ran into it, North Stratfield, like the replacement of the existing thermostats and stuff like that. I can talk to Sal. I don't believe there's anything on the books. This is a limited scope project where it's confined to basically 3 areas. It's really one large area, but it's not school wide, let's say. So should be easier to control.
Okay. All right, that's all I had for new business. Rodney, anything on the new business side from you?
We also wanted to talk about warranty extension.
Oh, yes, I had that in the old business. Yes, sorry. So Amar, you wanted to go over somebody?
Yeah, it's fairly straightforward. When we met a few weeks ago, we talked about going to an alternative manufacturer, but I think the cost was getting prohibitive. It was ranging somewhere around $200,000 to switch to either Aon or another vendor. So we decided, I think the team agreed to let's seek extended warranty from 1 year to 2 years. And I was able to get that from Ferguson. Actually, we have an ATP we're going to present to you. It's about $30,000 plus markup on that one. So call it 32,000 plus or minus for that extended warranty. And it gives you a detailed explanation what's covered under the extended warranty. So just wanted to share that with you. There's no urgency in approving something like that. We'll take the ATP out to you, and hopefully the next meeting we can discuss it further to see if you have any specific questions. But I just wanted to communicate the value and where we are with it. That's all.
Okay. Right, that had to do with the concern around the timing of the implementation and acceptance compared to winter and summer heating and cooling cycle, and making sure that we were
right. Just to be clear, what we bought from a warranty contractually is from the date of substantial completion, so you can call it end of August 2026. That's the start of warranty. So 2 years will definitely give you those multiple season coverage that everybody was looking for. So we'll send that to you. Hopefully, I think Mark, you might have it, or I'm not sure if you do or you don't. We'll get that ATP to you, digest it, and then we can touch on it on the 24th and see if you have any specific questions. There's no urgency in executing that at all.
Okay, very good. Okay, last call for new business, Rodney, or any old business.
None.
Very good. All right, Paul, we did skip a meeting last week. This meeting ran a little long, so apologies for that. The next scheduled meeting is October 24th in 2 weeks. So if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I'll just apologize to everybody. We're trying to get a bid out, and so I was a little distracted. I
Totally
apologize.
understandable.
I'll second the motion.
Very good.
Good luck
All right,
with the bid.
all in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, gentlemen,